Hi there, Act 2 Alucard. This is Big Benedict. We're playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate on hardcore difficulty. Alucard, he's a very reminiscent character of older games. He was the star of Symphony of the Night, a fan favorite. Not my particular choice of Castlevania, but definitely the majority opinion of what Castlevania should be. I'm definitely in the Castlevania 4 camp, that type of game. But anyway, we will be able to use a double jump feature with this character. The next character has it built in, so to speak, Trevor. Now, I don't know, I don't know Alucard's relationship to Dracula. In the trailer I watched for Lords of Shadow 2, Gabriel said he was calling Trevor son, which is true because Trevor was Marie's child and Gabriel killed Marie. But he was kind of under the influence of Zobek and Satan at the time. But anyway, if anyone really knows who exactly Alucard is, I would be interested in knowing. I've searched the internet, and apparently my searches haven't really been very fruitful in finding the info on this guy here. I do like the fact that he's kind of the antithesis of evil, and it even manifests itself in his name, which is Dracula spelled backwards. So he's definitely the opposite of evil, a good savior, a Christian savior for this era, this time period that he's fighting in to rid this European countryside of the dragon, Drackle. So we will, just like Simon, we'll be acquiring 2 magics and 2 sub-weapons, and just, like I said, all your stats carry over, and additionally, we will get the wings. If you remember from Lords of Shadow, we got the Seraph wings. We'll get those in this quest. And when we're Simon, he can just do a double jump. I'm not sure who jumps exactly higher. I honestly don't know who jumps higher, but we'll be fighting this guy later in the game. This is a scripted fight. You're boxed into the corner. He will kill you, and then you'll fall down into the next area. I think it's the abandoned mine area, and we'll be in the water dealing with the fish. This guy's voice actor, it's the same one as Bronner and Olrox. I noticed that immediately when I first started playing this game. There is a bestiary card over here. There's some scrolls, which I already got those. And as far as the fish in the water, they cannot be killed. So the way to deal with these guys is, well, we're not going to be seeing them quite yet, but the way to deal with them is when they glint and are about to attack you, then that's when you evade. And then if you properly evade in an area where they're not attacking, you will not get damaged. So there's a cutscene right there which I edited out in which we got the bat swarm. And you can either do this, hold it down, and do the more powerful bat swarm. But the thing is, what they've done in this game is you don't use more ammunition for doing the charged shot, because you can press the circle button or you can hold the circle button. The latter action is the more fiercer of the projectile attack. But what they've decided to do is just have it count for 1 off your ammo counter, but you're more vulnerable when you do it. So you just kind of have to assess what you want to do. Down that lift right there is actually nothing. Nothing for me. There might be a scroll for you if you haven't got it. So when you turn the lever, press the R2 button right away afterwards. So grab it with the R2 button, and then right after you've grabbed it, press the R2 button again, because these guys will attack you. I believe there is a finite number of them. The electricity that they throw on the ground is really devastating. I think it would kill me with my current health. So I like that. Ooh, see, it almost killed me. I was almost right. So at least we're getting some harder enemies with Alucard, because I was, really worried that this game was not going to be challenging to me. in the last video. But the thing is, at the point where you get the bat swarm, that's your checkpoint. So if you die anytime thereafter, you have to start way back there. And we have a hard section coming up as well on the minecarts. It's not really hard, but it's just kind of hard to deal with the harpies who are assaulting you. I think there's 2 of them in total. So definitely grab your health. You'll need it. I definitely needed it. And then there is a bestiary card over here. And I think the bestiary card should give you experience, but they don't. You know, because you're going out of your way to find them. They should give you experience. See, here's the fish. When they go to attack you, they won't attack you unless you go next to them. But that is the way to deal with them. They cannot be killed. So here's some cool dragons from the earlier Castlevania games. I really love those guys. They're cool. There's so many great Castlevania games, but most of the ones that I like are the side-scrolling ones. Not Symphony of the Night. I don't like that game. My brother and I are really big Castlevania people. We just, we grew up when the NES was coming out, and people who had that were considered, the people whose houses you wanted to go to play those games. And I don't know, we just grew up with Castlevania. Anyway, so once you get into the minecart, I thought I had another enemy over there. Once you get into the minecart, I saw the question mark down there, and there's the harpy. So you can throw the bat swarm at him if you want to. Just watch out for his arrows. They take away a lot. They're hard to evade. You're going to notice a little fade out and fade in right here. You will just fall into the water. So that wasn't a death I edited out or anything. That was just because I wanted to spare you guys the time of me going back around and climbing up to this area here. So what I don't like though is, I sacrificed the trophy for hardcore and hard, but they do not tell you where all the secrets are. It doesn't, because I've come across many chests and there was no question mark on it. So I don't agree with that whatsoever, and it's unfair that they tie those two requirements to the same trophy. The difficulty one and the navigational aids. But head over to the left and we'll go on to the next section right here after we do this. Watch out for the flaming spires from the ground right there, and then we'll be facing some more harpies here. Now again, these guys are shouters and they're wielders of bows, so they're going to try to shoot you with flaming arrows. Are these the shouters? I don't know. Let me see if these guys shout. If they do shout, you want to be behind them though. And also when they fire their arrows, you want to evade. Well, you want to evade towards them, but if that means that you're going to get hit, evade away, obviously. So that's the last one. The spires are going to go down, and we're going to go to the next section. Okay, on to the next section. We're going to be in the kitchen, and these environments are straight out of Symphony of the Night. Really cool. We're going to have some swamp-like creatures down here to fight. Typically the enemies flank you in this game. What we have coming up though is a puzzle, and it's really one of those kind of dumb puzzles, and I really don't know what to think. I mean, Castlevania has puzzles. When did it start having puzzles? Probably in Symphony of the Night, because in those side scrollers, it's not puzzles, it's fucking battles, man. But anyway, Alucard's a cool character. You notice that his dash is just this kind of dash. It's not a roll. I prefer a roll. In Lords of Shadow 2, Gabriel has a dash like Laura has. If you've played the DLC for Lords of Shadow, if you're familiar with playing as Laura, it's the same with Gabriel, or Dracula as he now is. And it's fine, as long as there's an evade, I'm happy. But I do prefer a standard roll over a glide. So we will get the wolf attribute pretty soon, and we'll be able to open doors that we cannot open now. We'll also be able to jump off. You see the glinting objects up there, the side of the walls that have traction for us to jump off and on. We'll be able to do that. Here's his animation right there. Get some experience points I don't need, but anyway. So what's down here? Some water. We're going to be facing... They're going to introduce you to... We've already been introduced to hunchbacks in this game, but in the next phase we'll be introduced to their troop, which is just 3 hunchbacks in a... It's a pretty interesting enemy. I don't hate it. I mean, I hate the book enemies more. But they're right over here. You're going to get a cutscene. So definitely fill up your health. And you can parry the attack of the guy with the sword. And, oh yeah, here's the first of the 2 magics you get is him. Now, be very careful with this, because if like me, you dash around the environment a lot, you're going to waste this magic if you have it activated. So what it does is you'll use it, and as long as you cut through enemies, you'll get HP back. But you waste the magic. See how that worked right there? If you want to rewind that. I do it a couple times. Right now I can't do it, but check out these guys. They're hunchbacks. One guy has a spiked shield. One guy is having the other guy piggyback style. And on top of that guy, there's a guy with a sword. Now, there's some more hunchbacks here. These guys are just throwing the little fire grenades at us, but we will have a couple more hunchback troops. I think the troops are kind of interesting. Now, they do have one attack where they dash across the screen at you. They all commit to a dash. That can be, see those attacks right there? Those can be parried. I don't know about block though. Watch out for that. I wouldn't trust getting myself into that. But if you have enough space on either side when they're dashing, you can see there's the dash right there. So I wouldn't have had enough space. They take a lot of space up when they do their charge at you. So you can just simply jump over it. Now it's going to be a little bit tougher because we don't have the wings, but as you can see, I've jumped over it fine. When we get the wings, we'll be able to jump over these guys a lot easier with less room for error. So I got hit a couple of times. And whenever these guys have their shields up, they really defend themselves pretty securely, so you want to do area attacks, and you also want to do combos. The best combo that I have found on these guys is square, triangle, hold, what was it? Square, triangle, hold, triangle. I demonstrated it in the first, in video number 1. And that's another reason I really didn't want to end this guy, just because I think this game is very easy. You know, hell, it might get a little bit tougher. Hopefully it gets a lot tougher. But, you know, maybe if I don't get any more upgrades, or maybe if I don't get any more or, you know, not use too many sub-weapons. But a game should be hard regardless of if you infuse artificial difficulty into it. You know, you shouldn't have to handicap yourself to make the game harder. But anyway, it's still a terrific game, and I'm happy to play it, you know. And it's one of those mainstream games that I hope a lot of people will find and, you know, like, and maybe, you know, hop aboard my channel, so to speak, get some more subscribers, because I really need some more subscribers, and I need some more. Oh, you see that guy right there? He is holding one of the blood orbs, so don't forget that. We're not doing that quite yet, but that was one of the... I had gone so far without realizing that guy was holding a blood orb, and I had to look at a guide, because at that point I hadn't activated the secrets, so I didn't know where he was, and I'm like, damn, I'm not going to spend so much time trying to find something, you know, when I want to start my guide for hardcore mode. And for a hardcore mode, it's kind of ridiculous. These enemies should be getting... It should take a lot more hits to kill these enemies. And there's just no way in hell that when you upgrade your weapon it gets stronger. I do not believe that whatsoever. Because I remember just starting a game on hard, and I remembered that the enemies were just as malleable. But anyway, we're going to have a really retarded puzzle coming up after we do some more battles in here, so really watch yourself, because then you'll be thrown back at the checkpoint where you acquire this first magic here. There's a chain barrier upgrade attack right there. So you might remember this kitchen from Lords of Shadow when we fought the evil butcher. So I think they've really done a good job with this game. I mean, it works well. It's fun to play. It has a good atmosphere, terrific music, and the combat is enjoyable. It works. You know. But I do think, even though you get damage less on hard mode, I think hard mode starting out a new game on hard mode initially is more difficult because you don't have all the health upgrades or anything like that. That's not to disparage this difficulty or undermine it in any way. We took some damage right there. But remember on these guys, square, triangle, hold, triangle. It's a very good combo for dealing with those guys. And then next we'll be doing that really retarded puzzle. There's two retarded puzzles, if I remember correctly, about Alucard. For some reason the game thinks he likes to do the goddamn puzzles. Okay, so we're going to keep ascending here, and the waypoint is telling us that we need to go to the right. Now if you are trying to get that trophy and you don't want the navigational aids, you're not going to have those red arrows anywhere. Now that door right there, we'll be able to open it when we get wolf form. Here's the theater, and I apologize I didn't edit this out, but this is a good opportunity to show you how long these loading times are. 15 seconds. I timed it. Just about, I was counting off 1 1000, 2 1000. It's about 15 goddamn seconds. That's too long. It should be 5 seconds. So just do what I'm doing here. You're gonna have to get used to this because some of the next puzzle involves moving blocks. There's only 3 blocks, and it's one of those kind of simple puzzles that, in its simplicity, it's difficult because there's a lot of variables involved, even though you're not actually manipulating all too much. Just remember that anytime there's like a hand clutching something, you want to put fire under it. That's a nice tip for the next puzzle coming up. And then move this block over here to the left. And when you press R2, you don't have to keep pressing R2 as you're dragging it. You can release the R2 button. You will need to release the R2 button to let go of it, but you don't have to continually hold down the R2 button while you're dragging it across the environment. A nice little consideration that this game does for the player. So when we go in here, then we're going to do that retarded puzzle I mentioned. Okay, here's the retarded puzzle I was speaking about. First thing you want to do is use this magnetic box, and you're going to want to put it on the the middle right platform. We're going to be moving it to the other side, but for now we need to get it out of the way so we can move the firebox onto the other side. And do you see the flashing red little corpse over there? That shows you the answer if you want to sacrifice the experience points, but if you're watching this, you won't need to. So burn this. This is going to cause the wind box to fall down, and we're going to need to see if you want to cut through the fire with the magic. That's pretty good. It doesn't deal too much damage to you, but come on down here and then move the wind box over to the very left, and we're going to be using this to jump up to where the magnetic box is on the very top. If I can get up there we go, and then move it over to here so we can actually start moving it with the mechanical hand. Then now what we need to do is to, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wind box over here. If you want to just stop it like right there, you can if you want to. I actually couldn't because I needed to get over here. I actually couldn't do that unless you went on the platform above this one. And then what we need to do now is hop back on that arm and we need to move the iron box, which is on the very top right now. We need to put that below, because what we need to have happen is we need, you see the purple, the lines, that the purple lines coming out of the one on top. We need to put that one on the very bottom, where the ore box is. So I think, yeah, I'm going to move the iron box. See what happens when you try to move both on once. It does that. So what I need to do now is move the iron box off of this, so that I can put the magnet box over here. Then I'm just going to have to shuffle these a little bit, and then take the magnet box off the platform where the hand goes, and then put this over to here. And then use the arm to put this iron box one platform higher up, and then once that's situated thusly, then move this magnet box under this, and then they'll both drag, and then put them right here. Then the next thing we need to do is put the firebox at the very top right. So just put it here, and then move the mechanical arm. And as we're doing this, the two boxes that are left aren't going to move because they're not in the hand grabbing positions. So one more pull should get this box all the way to the top. Then the last thing we need to do is just put the wind box in the very middle, and that's going to cause a concussion of wind to push the firebox over to the hand and burn it thusly. Okay, so after this puzzle we're going to do the boss battle. We need the shadow claws to get up here, so we're going to use the elevator and be interrupted by the Reaver, whom we have to fight in a boss confrontation. Now the guy's pretty easy. When the fight starts, it places you at such a position where you're really close to him. So did you see his tail glint right there? That means he does an unblockable, unparryable tail swipe. So you got to get out of the way of that, stay clear of it. If you want to use the tornado, it's extremely helpful here. What I like to do on the mini Reavers who come out is to use the guillotine upgrade. And you'll notice that I actually press the square button before I even jump. I don't just jump and then hold down the square button and then release the square button, which is not the prescribed way. It's the way that it's written that you do the move, but you can actually hold the square button down first. That's what I like to do. He's got several phases here. He doesn't, well, in this phase he kind of overused the lackeys. What you want to do, you'll notice I started out this fight with a full bar of magic. Anytime I box into a corner, I activate the magic and then glide through him to get myself out of that corner and also to heal myself. So you see how I'm kind of in a corner here, and the game pretty much just has him back off a little bit. So most of these videos are going to end with a boss fight. You'll notice he also throws down some seeds or something. They don't hit you unless they burst. See, did I get hit? No, I didn't get hit right there. But there will be two phases where he's on top of the platform up there and he's throwing them down. It's pretty easy to dodge. I never had this many mini Reavers spawn, to tell you the truth. So you've just got to stay clear of him. He deals pretty good damage, but he's very predictable. And when he's in this phase here, you cannot hit him, and then watch his health here. It'll start to increase. So if you do try to hit him, your attacks will just bounce off of him. And he's almost healed himself completely, but there really is nothing you can do. It's just the way the fight works. And then just tap the X button here to get out of his stomach. He'll spit you out, and then he's in a corner here, but even if you have just a little sliver of magic left, you can still use it and glide through him. It doesn't really matter. What I really don't like and what I don't understand is how, like, when you use it with a full magic wire, it almost like drains all of it. It's really wasteful. I don't know why it does that. But the mini Reavers yield magic, so here is his charge. You just want to definitely stay clear of that. You can't jump over him. The mini Reavers will try to attack you if you do that. So here are the seeds, the little worms that he throws out, his little hatchlings, what have you. You can guard against his bite if you want to, and you can parry it. So that's something you can also do. So here I'm boxing. Of course, see how I tried to jump over him right there? Nothing doing. He would not let me do that. Yeah, I never had him summon these mini Reavers here. Here's his charge. Into a corner. And now we're going to do this one more time. He gives us a little bit more of our magic back. And this is a very manageable fight. It shouldn't be one that you struggle on. So here is the first time he goes up here. What I like to do is, when he's going to drop the projectiles, what I like to do is just kind of stay right under him and then move to the left or to the right. You'll notice they don't damage you unless you actually are on the ground. Now, when he's coming down, that's a really dangerous move that he does. When he stops throwing the projectiles down, you have to be well away from him or he will bite you. And right there I just threw a projectile because I thought it was kind of funny what he does. I knew exactly what he does when you throw the bat swarm into him. He just eats it and spits out bones. It's kind of funny. I just wanted to show you guys that. But definitely get out of the way when he jumps down or you'll receive very hefty damage. So see, kind of the problem, I'm in a corner but the game has him back off. I've always thought that was fair. It's so this is not that doesn't normally happen. It only happened because I was using my tornado effect and I couldn't get out of it. So here he's going to back off, do the charging at us, and I think I do the chainsaw upgrade right there. Got damaged again. See, he does pretty hefty damage. Now he's going to allow us to grab hold of this and let loose the poison. And then that is the termination of the fight and the termination of this guy right here. So I will see you in Alucard's quest part 2. It'll be video number 2 in his particular quest, and I'll see you there. So be prepared for some more fun.